Hello and good morning, everyone. It is Wednesday. We are officially, I think, officially halfway through the month. We have made it halfway through September, which means it is almost October, which means it's almost time to start listening to Christmas music. Now, I know how people feel about Christmas music, but Christmas music is my absolute favorite thing. And I will use any excuse to go and listen to Christmas music. So we are excited for that, and I cannot wait to start listening to it. I have finally beat Borderlands 4, so we got to play a new character, and I gotta tell you, some of the decisions that they have made are just awful. So starting a new character, you get zero progress from your other characters. You have to go relearn the entire map, all the warp points, everything, and it's just baffling that they give you nothing. Mozzarella's here, first one in. Good morning, Mozzarella Sticks. You don't like Christmas music? I understand that. I understand a lot of people are not fans of Christmas music. I do get that, but also, like, I can't help it. I can't help it. It's my favorite genre of my music. It's my favorite time of year. I would listen to it all day. I know this is gonna be like the extra like hate cream on top is one of my favorite Christmas albums, and this is not trolling. This is not joking. This is legitimately one of my favorite Christmas albums. Is the My Little Pony Christmas album is so good. Have I tried out Silk Song? Yes. I got Silk Song. It was on the what do you call it? It's on Game Pass right now. So, for context, I did not like the first. I did not like was it Hollow Knight? I did not like Hollow Knight at all. I started playing Silk Song, and my immediate thought on the game was like, I do not understand why this game is so hyped right now. Like, it felt like just yet another mediocre platformer Souls-like. Like, I definitely did not, I didn't like it. I did not like it at all. And I know that, like, this is a staple of the Metroidvania series, but, like, in the very start, there's a hole you can fall down that makes you start over from the beginning of the game, and I fell down that hole like twice. I was like, why am I wasting my time on a game I already don't like that's wasting my time by making me rerun through the same area multiple times till they put this noob trap right here. So it's just nothing special. It's just another Metroidvania in a huge slog of other Metroidvanias. Metroidvanias must not be free. But that's the thing. Like, I like Castlevania. Loved Castlevania. I liked Blasphemous. I got all the way through Blasphemous. I enjoyed Blasphemous all the way. But those games had unique things to them. Silk Song just seemed like I said, it just seemed like another generic game in a laundry list of games in the genre. So, yeah, I was not a fan of Silk Song. But I didn't go into it expecting to be a fan of it, right? Like I said, I was a Hollow Knight hater. I never enjoyed it. We already knew that going into it, so I'm not surprised that I did not really enjoy the game all that much. But I did give it a shot. I did give it an honest try. I tried it. But I'm glad I didn't pay for it. And I'm glad that it's, $20. I'm glad that people are able to get the game for a affordable and good price. So I'm glad people aren't out here paying $70 for that, because I definitely don't think the game was worth $70. Silk Song has tools and crests and all sorts of other different skills, but also add Dark Souls elements. We all know how I feel about Dark Souls, so I do not consider adding Dark Souls-like stuff to the game to be a good thing.
This warrants investigation.
This is the end game of Borderlands 4, by the way, for everyone just joining us. I finally beat Borderlands 4 yesterday, so I unlocked Ultimate Vault Hunter, True Vault Hunter Mode 1, and I tried the new feature that allows you to swap your character. So rather than continuing on with a character I didn't like, you're able to start a new character, skip the story, and start out right at level 30 and get right to the end game. And I gotta tell you, they bungled that feature so bad. So bad. So you can start another character, but they literally start with 0 gear. So there's no way to play the character unless you play your other character and move the stuff around. So that's already awful. But then they also made the horrible decision of you have to unlock the map again. You have to go and do every single thing with unlocking the map, which is just a huge waste of time and a huge slog, which is so unfun. And then the biggest slog is to unlock True Vault Hunter mode. You have to go and redo old missions, which I don't have a problem with. Like, they're reusing content. Understood. That's completely fine. But tell me why, after you beat the game, they're going to make you redo content and re-watch unskippable roleplay, unskippable slow talking. Like, here's the thing. Borderlands writing is not good enough to be enjoyed multiple times. So it seems baffling that they would make you slog through an unfunny mission yet again to unlock the next mode. Like, it's just a baffling bad decision. Dennis, your legs are broken, but you're fine. I am sorry to hear that. Broken leg is definitely something I fear in my life, because Emmy doesn't drive, so if I break my foot or leg in such a way that I can't drive, that's going to be a long few months while I recover of not being able to drive. So I definitely have a fear of that. Silk Song is mostly about the world you live in, primitive bugs, making civilization stuff's cool. Okay, that could also be why I don't like the game. I don't know anything about the story. I never paid attention. It really didn't suck me in, so I really didn't feel like spending the time to try and learn the story. It definitely did not grasp me. But also, like, I've reached a point in my life with a lot of games, and this is probably going to be somewhat of a controversial take, so maybe I should put on the bad opinion glasses, but, like, so many game stories are just, like, legitimately bad, and they're trying so hard to have, like, this deep, convoluted, brilliant story, and really it's just garbage, and you spend so much time. Like, one thing I've talked about that I hate the most is when you get a new game, love when you get a new game, and then they immediately, like, okay, so you're going to watch a 15-minute video about a story you don't care about before you can even play the game, and then you're going to move 5 seconds, and then you're going to have to watch another story, and then maybe we'll let you play the game for 20 minutes before we make you watch yet another video. Like, I'm sick of it. I'm sick of paying attention to garbage stories no one's going to care about in 5 minutes. So unless a game is incredibly good and actually has a well-written story, I'm at a point in my life where I just don't pay attention to the story anymore, because, like, I'm not wasting my time on a mediocre story, and I'm not going to play a game that's going to force me to watch your horrible story unless the game is really good. Alfred, good morning. Silk Song just hits different for some people, definitely, and that's one of those things we talk about, right? I understand Silk Song appears not to be made for me, so, you know, I'm not gonna wish that it was never made. I'm not gonna wish that other people don't have access to it. I'll just not play it, and that is perfectly fine by me. All right, we got our first vault fragment. That's one step closer to being able to enter the vault. I gotta tell you, that was like the biggest disappointment from number 1. Playing Borderlands 1 and finally getting to a vault, finally unlocking a vault, and then just having an alien pop out of it who attacks you, and that was like all that was in the vault. That was like one of the biggest disappointments of all time. Like, you're like, oh, I finally get to see what's in this vault we've talked about for hours and hours. I'm finally gonna see it, and then you go in and it's just an alien, that tentacle monster pops out and hits you, and that was such a bummer. Hollow Knight has an amazing story. Silk Song definitely done the first game justice. Maybe I could learn to like it. There's a chance I could learn to like it. As I said, I I do like Metroidvanias. To answer your question from last night, the answer is hell to the nah. The question in question was I asked Dex if he would ever come around to hot sauce on oatmeal. So it appears that Dex is still resistant to try new things, but we'll get him someday. We'll get him someday. We'll get him to try hot sauce oatmeal. That is officially a Waffles original. I'm going to claim it as my own. I am the inventor of hot sauce oatmeal for weight loss. So, if any of you ever want to try it, make sure you credit Waffles for the brilliant invention.
It depends on who's asking.
We found bullets in the dryer.
You were to credit for her condition.
Yeah, my stuff will do that to you. Old family recipe. I've been trying to settle, but none of the folks around here can hold their liquor for nothing. So what I need is
Also, if you were sick of hearing in the news all the stuff about like Charlie Kirk and all that, be prepared for another round of it. Allegedly, the BBC released text messages between his roommate and him this morning, and it's a pretty wild ride. So I'm guessing that every influencer, every news outlet is going to latch on to this, and we are going to get a whole nother round of media circus around this with those text messages. So if you don't want to hear anything more about it, you want your sanity to be restored, it might be a good day to skip the news and skip like Reddit, because it's just going to be full of the next round of that. Just so you're aware of that. It's really tough. They have to be somewhat confident with the Silksong sauce. I have heard that Silksong is definitely harder than Hollow Knight, which I remember Hollow Knight being pretty difficult, like not impossible, but it was more higher on the difficulty scale. So it's definitely a strange decision to make the game even harder, because it does seem like they're pushing out like their casual fans. I've seen multiple posts on the Silksong subreddit saying that they're giving up. They've accepted they're never going to beat the game, and that the game just is too hard for them. And that's one of those things that, like, is it really hard to put difficulty sliders in a game to make it accessible to everyone? Like, is it really that difficult? Do you like honey by any chance? Yes and no. I like the taste of honey, but I am super afraid of sugar, so I don't consume any sugar, and honey is... I know that it breaks down in a different way than sugar, and like the way it enters your bloodstream is different than regular sugar, but for the most part I just consider it to be sugar, so I avoid eating it, because I do not eat sugars until my weight is under control. Once I get to my goal weight, and I know that I'm free and clear of diabetes, which I am as of my last doctor visit, it is possible that I will change my stance on that, and I'll start to enjoy some honey and other things in life once I have reached that goal. So I'm hoping that once I'm there, it'll be easier to consume things like sugar and honey and all that. Jonathan, good morning. Follow Hornet's advice and get good. I was asking about all the honeycombs in the background. So the honeycombs is because we are bee themed, because I love bees in general, but also I figured, like, my whole theme is the Waffle Night and Saint Waffles, so I thought, what goes well with waffles? Well, you got the honey that goes well with waffles and bees, and it just became a whole motif. So I super enjoy bees. In fact, I took an amazing bee photo the other day that I posted. Do y'all want to see the bee photo I took? Because I'm pretty proud of the bee photo that I took. I hate these birds so much. These batch crash things. I despise them. They are so annoying. My phone's on 4%, but I'm willing to sacrifice it to see the stream. Why is your phone on 4%? What is going on?
far from fresh.
All right, we're putting on the homing missiles.
Find me another.
I see Kyle. Thank you for the $2, but I cannot say that. I cannot say that one. That is not a word I am going to say. I am privy to the old magic on that one. Speaking of magic, did y'all see Magic the Gathering announce today their next secret lair is going to be Play-Doh? Like, I know this is going to be old man yells at the clouds, but like, I feel like Magic the Gathering has been ruined by introducing we've got the My Little Pony, we got the SpongeBob, we got the Final Fantasy, we got all the other things, and now we have Play-Doh Magic the Gathering coming out. Like, I feel like we've gone too far into the silliness. I feel like we've lost. I feel like we've lost it. We've lost the plot. We've jumped the shark. Avatar. Okay, I won't hate on the Avatar because I really like if anything was ever going to get me to play Magic the Gathering again, it would either be My Little Pony or Avatar The Last Airbender. Those are my two absolute favorite things. Eggs, sorry, I saw you, Eggs. Sorry, chat's going fast today. Sorry, good morning, Eggs. I love Avatar The Last Airbender so much. Speaking of My Little Pony, Kyle, $2. I cannot say your name because I also recognize what you are trying to do there, but I will call you Kyle. But I would encourage you to ask yourself why you are trying to do this. Like, do you just need attention, or are these your actual beliefs? Because you know, there's some issues in there that you might want to deal with.
Man, you got some kind of bad luck, huh?
But we were talking about Christmas music, and I absolutely love Christmas music. And My Little Pony put out a Christmas album, and I'll be darned if that is not one of the best Christmas albums of all time. And I know you're all gonna judge me for that, but I stand by it. The My Little Pony Christmas album is one of the greatest Christmas albums of all time. So when you're listening to Christmas music this year, go on Spotify and look up the My Little Pony Christmas album. Give it a listen, and you will thank yourself. Speaking of Avatar, what's your favorite element? Okay, so we've talked about this before. Train, good morning, Train. Why would you pay to get banned? I mean, it's better than getting banned for free, I guess. We've talked about Avatar before. Like, firebending is cool, but it's not practical for most things. Like, firebending of all the elements seems like it is only good for war and some very, very niche uses. Blank, good morning. Thank you, everyone. So we're not fans of firebending. Earthbending seems like it has absolutely the most uses in your everyday life. But I believe I would be a waterbender, and in every game I ever play, if possible, I try and be the healer. So being able to heal people with waterbending seems like the most useful. But honestly, like, I know that airbenders obviously don't exist anymore, but airbending seems you can control your body temperature, so you can be as hot or cold as you want to be. You can fly. No one can see it. They've confirmed that the like when Aang pushes the air and you see like the leaves and a little like whoosh, that's just visual for people to be able to see. That's not actually like what the world sees. So you have a completely invisible element you can literally blame on the wind that allows you to go to any environment without having to put on a jacket or take off clothing. Like, there's so many useful things to air travel. Yeah, you could travel the world, you could fly around, you can moderate your body temperature, you can mess with people, you can do magic tricks like Aang did. Like, there is so much good things to come with airbending. I truly think airbending is probably the best element. But then you have Toph coming in with the metal bending, and there is nothing cooler than metal bending. Like, can we all can we all agree that metal bending is like the coolest thing ever? So like, it's such a hard choice. And here's I'm gonna talk about something I'm ashamed of for a second. Back when I was a Satanist and I was huge into tarot cards, I got an Avatar: The Last Airbender tarot card deck that I absolutely loved, and I used to play a game with it with people on TikTok. If you followed my TikTok way back in the day, you may remember this, but it was quite a few years ago. Mike, good morning, Mike. We had this Avatar deck, and I would find your element for you. We would draw 5 cards and see, or 4 cards, and see if you what element came up the most, and that would determine what element you were. And people loved finding out what element they were, and I had a lot of fun doing that. But again, I am ashamed of my tarot card days. But it was a lot of fun to help people find their element. They should have made a proper open world Avatar game where you can choose what bending you want. There are 2 games that I have had in my mind forever and ever. The first one, yes, is exactly that. They should make a open world Avatar game, an Avatar MMO, choose your element, make your character, absolutely. Here's the other game I've always felt like they should make. And this is gonna be an old school callback to a show everyone is probably aware of, but hasn't watched in like 30 years. I always thought it would be super cool if they made a Full Metal Alchemist game, and they did like a full whatever environment you're in is the abilities you have access to. So like, if you're standing in a forest, then you have access to using like wood and paper and dirt. But if you're standing next to water, then you have water as an ability and things like that. I always thought it would be so cool to have a Full Metal Alchemist game that utilized the ability to, okay, this is the ground you're standing on, this is the abilities you have access to. I always thought that would be such a cool feature to have, and we just never got anything like that, unfortunately. I really, really wish we did. There are many misconceptions about Satanists. Yes, there definitely are a lot of misconceptions about Satanists. That is absolutely true, and one of the reasons why I talk in detail about Satanism when I get the chance to help people kind of beat some of those preconceived notions that cause a lot of problems. There is one of my favorite things the Pope ever said is talking about how there is God and beauty in all religions, and while we stand by Catholicism is the only religion that has the full truth, there is beauty to be found and God to be found in all the other religions. And I wish people would also understand that that is true for Satanists too. There is some things that we can learn from Satanism to become better people, and I feel like it's just so demonized, especially because of like the online communities, that no one actually takes what we're supposed to believe and puts it into practice, especially around things like Satanism and paganism and things of that nature. Now, would I encourage anyone to go and be a Satanist? No, obviously I can't do that. But I do believe everyone has their own journey back home to Catholicism, and like my journey involved Satanism. So why would I condemn or look down on someone else for doing the same exact thing that I did, right? Like, that doesn't make sense. We all have our own journey home, and for some people that involves Satanism, like me. That is. Satanism directly brought me to Christianity. As long as you live a good life, who really cares about what you believe in? I wouldn't say that I agree with that, because ultimately my goal, of course, is to get everyone to live a good life. But what is good, as we've talked about before, is good is objective, not subjective. So what is good to some people is not good to everyone, so you need to have an objective look at what is good. And the example we use is like the world right now very much is pro anti-life, right? And so a lot of people would consider that a good thing, but God considers that a bad thing. So if the world considers it a good thing, but God considers it a bad thing, is that a good thing? So we have to remember when we say, are you a good person, that we are talking objectively as defined by God, or else it has no meaning. In the same way that there are cultures who used to eat people, for example, and that culture would say that is a good thing because that is a part of their cultural heritage, but we would look at that subjectively and say, no, that is a bad thing, but who are we as men to decide what is good and bad? That is why we need God to define for us what is good and what is bad. Morality has to be objective, not subjective.
There we go. That should knock the
So it's a huge conversation, but I do agree. The ultimate goal is everyone to be good. We want everyone to be good, especially as we talk about in light of the world, as all the bad events are happening and people doing bad things. We definitely want people to be good, but when we say we want people to be good, we want them to be good by God's standards, not by the world's standards.
Wasn't worth the trouble. Decided to call the stuff wasty face.
Another less controversial way of saying that is like Nintendo right now. There's a lot of people who really, really dislike Nintendo, and I understand why they dislike Nintendo. So people will come out and say it's always morally correct to pirate from Nintendo, and they essentially will say that we, as a people, have agreed that because we dislike this company, it's okay to steal from them, but don't steal from anyone else. Right? Like that is a subjective morality that is flawed. It's saying, I don't like this, so it's okay to harm them, but that's not how it's supposed to work, right? Like it doesn't... Bad actions don't become good just because you dislike something or disagree with something, right? And it's such a weird phenomenon, because like the same thing will happen with like Silk Song. People are talking a lot about pirating Silk Song because it was already cracked and people are pirating Silk Song, and some people are talking about, no, it's wrong to pirate Silk Song because it's a good game by a small company and you shouldn't harm them, but it's okay to pirate from Nintendo or other big companies. No, the action is wrong across the board. It will always be wrong. If piracy is wrong, then it will always be wrong. It doesn't matter that you think that it's good or bad depending on the company. What matters is theft is wrong. Theft is theft, right? So it's interesting to see how people's morality will change depending on what they do or don't like. Jesus stated that you will not get closer to the Lord by your works, but through Him. So, of course, we will always quote our favorite Bible phrases, which is, "Why do you call me Lord, Lord, but do not do what I say?" And faith without works is dead. You cannot work your way into heaven. I absolutely agree with that. But if you're not performing works, then you're not really a believer in God. Mark, thank you so much for the sub. I appreciate it. As long as you don't have a one-shot build and enjoying your fights, the end game is definitely worth it. I don't know. There's a lot of flaws I see with the end game so far. I started Amon because I didn't like Vex, and I wanted to try a different character, and like it's absolutely bonkers that you lose everything from your first character and you have to rediscover the whole map. You have to re-find every waypoint. Like it's horrible. I don't understand why they made those decisions. I don't see why anyone would listen to you. It's like if they asked your dumbest friend for advice. I mean, you're definitely entitled to that opinion, but the question would be, if you feel that way about what I'm saying, then what are you still doing here, right? If you feel that my life advice and my perspective on things is that dumb, then why are you still here? Like, if I heard someone spewing things that I thought was absolutely dumb, I wouldn't stick around. So I would question why you're still hanging out here. I do have some bad takes too, right? That's the whole reason these exist, right? It's because I definitely do say some controversial and bad things, but I do try to balance it out with a healthy diet of good perspectives, especially when it comes to religion, Catholicism, and things of substance. You know, if I hate on a random game, in the end, I don't think that will really matter all that much. But you know, when it comes to things that have actual like meaning and matter, I try and be a little more serious and a little more grounded and balanced. I miss Maya. You know, you're not the first person to bring up Maya. I didn't really play the third one, so I missed out apparently on Maya. I did like Tiny Tina's Wonderland though, but I understand that Tiny Tina's Wonderland was kind of like the black sheep of Borderlands. There's definitely a lot of people who disliked that game, and I definitely understand why they disliked that game, but I had fun with it. But also I played it with my wife, so it's like one of those things where this is basically a true statement for almost absolutely everything. Is it's better in co-op, right? Like I could play any game, almost any game with Emmy and enjoy it. There is one limit to that I found, though. We played the new Kirby game together, and she liked it, so I played it through with her, but man, Kirby was boring. Like, just straight up a boring time. There was zero substance to that game. Like, holy cow. Like, I always know that Kirby's always been a more simple game. Like, I wasn't expecting it to be anything mind-blowing, but man, was it boring. Yes, this is the new Borderlands. This is Borderlands 4. We are playing as Amon the Forge Knight in the post-game. We have beaten the game, and now we are experiencing the post-game. Let's see what we got here. Garbage. That's pretty good. We're gonna use that. Garbage. All right, one upgrade. That's all you ask for, right? Like in a sea of loot, all you need is one upgrade. Where did you come up with Saint Waffles? So how I came up with Saint Waffles was I wanted Saint to be a part of my name, and I always cannot stress this enough. I did not want Saint to be a part of my name because I think that I'm a saint, or I'm so egotistical to think that I'm better than people. Rather, I wanted Saint Waffles, I wanted Saint to be in my name because I wanted a reminder that in everything I do, and everyone I talk to, every interaction I have, my ultimate goal is to draw people closer to God and make them get to heaven and be a saint. And so I chose the first word saint as a reminder in all that I do that I'm called to be a saint, and I'm called to make other people saints. So I need to be very conscientious of what I'm saying, how I'm saying it, and how I'm interacting with people. So I always have a constant reminder of what I have to live up to, which is to become a saint. The waffles, you know, I liked waffles, and I wanted something that was a little silly and a little fun, so Saint Waffles just kind of came together as that's kind of a silly, fun name. My dad also, as I throw my Nintendo Switch 2 on the ground, my dad always used to make waffles too, and I really enjoyed when my dad would make waffles, so I guess I will include that as a part of the backstory, but really I just wanted something a little silly, a little fun, and Saint Waffles just kind of seemed to flow correctly. So the important part of it was Saint, but you know, the waffles balances it out. Tony R, hello, hot sauce man, hello. They are abducting cows. These horrible people are abducting cows. That dude just one-shot me. Holy cow. That guy was not playing around. He just exploded me like nothing. I do love me some hot sauce. I tried a new hot sauce place called Pepper Palace, and they make their own custom hot sauces, and holy cow, they are not, when they call them hot sauces, they have the heat. No doubt. It is some hot sauce. I'm from 2050 and AI is attacking the world. I know a lot of people are afraid of AI attacking the world. I don't think we're actually ever going to get to a point where there's like AI overthrowing the world, but I definitely understand why people have that concern. It definitely feels like a lot of jobs and other things are being lost to AI nowadays. But also, like, I'm not afraid of the new technology in the way that, like, the whole purpose of technology is to make our lives better and easier, right? I am certain that when PCs first came out, people had the same reaction to PCs as they did with AI. I am certain that people had negative reactions to all those things. So, like, I'm not overly afraid of it, but I also don't want good jobs to be lost to AI, right? I want AI to take over the terrible jobs so that we can live easier lives with jobs that we want to do, like creating art and having fun and streaming, but take away the boring slogs of jobs that nobody wants to do, that nobody likes to do, right? So that is what AI should be doing for us, is replacing the jobs no one wants to do and giving us more free time to do things we want to do. But what it's doing in reality is making everyone do stupid things like, hey, you know what our website about selling fruit needs? We need an AI agent so that people can chat with our AI agent about fruit. Like nobody wants to talk to an AI agent about fruit. The last thing you want when you click on a website is to immediately be told, hey, to get more information, talk to our AI. No, I do not want that. God made you to work, and that's all. I definitely agree with that. I definitely agree that a part of what God made us for is work, and we should definitely do that work. But that work doesn't have to be sitting in front of a computer on a spreadsheet 50 hours a week, right? Like, we would much prefer our jobs to have meaning and purpose, and that's like things like art, things of that nature, where yes, you're still working, but it's creating something beautiful and wonderful and not sitting in front of a spreadsheet 40 hours a week for 10 hours of your life, right? Like those are both still work, but there is a very big difference between those two kinds of work, right? My dad's advice he always gave me that I will pass on to you all, that I absolutely love, and I truly, truly agree with, is for a man to be happy, he must work out his mind, he must work out his body, and he must work out his spirit. You must have a balance of all three of those things, or you will not be happy. And I have definitely found a lot of truth in that when you neglect any one of those things, it's definitely easier to become depressed. When I was at the worst for my depression, I, of course, was neglecting all of those things, and I have since started working very hard on fixing all of those. My brain, my body, and my spirit. So it is a process. Wow, that is some next level garbage we have picked up for most things. Wow. That was the most disappointing chest of all time. We got two green items and one gray item, like absolutely garbage. But here we get this cool little dude talking to us with his brain, the brain beast. Dad said you better work.
Due to the comfort of assumption.
Touché, my bovine friend. I take it your current state.
I definitely wish I appreciated the value of hard work as a kid more. I spent way too much of my childhood playing Dota 1 on Warcraft 3 when I should have been outside cutting down blackberries and working on my body and losing weight. So it's one of those things, right? We can't ever fix the past, but we can at least learn from it, right? Any thoughts on revelations and potential signs we've seen in the last few years? We have, I would say every year we have somebody come out and tell us that they have read the book and they see the signs and the end of the world is upon us. So I have stopped paying attention to it and caring about it, honestly. I just fall back on I can't quote the exact Bible phrase, I can't quote, the book, but no one knows the date or time, so be ready, be prepared for the coming of Christ when he comes. Don't try and predict it. That's why I stick to, the world will end when the world will end. Jesus will do what Jesus will do. So I will just take his advice and try and be prepared every day for the second coming, rather than trying to determine when he is coming and be prepared then, right? So every year we get like signs like, oh, this river is so low, this was a biblical prophecy, oh, we have this prophecy being fulfilled, and I can't keep up with it, and I don't see any reason to live in fear. So instead, I just try and live every day in a pleasing way to God and protect myself that way, right? You can't go wrong if you're following the biblical advice, right? It came right from the big man himself, so it's got to be accurate. So, is the end of the world coming? I've heard that basically every day since I've been like 5. Since I can remember. There was, growing up in the 2000s, we always had the we had the Mayan calendar prophecy, and then after that there was another prophecy for like two years after that. And so like we've always had like a doomsday prophecy coming for us in one way or another. And so I just given up on living in fear of the doomsday prophecies. But God's will be done. Whatever it is, thy will be done. You know, if Jesus wants to come back tomorrow, then that means I don't have to go to work. Right? So, I swear, I see your question, but I'm not answering that question. We try and keep a family-friendly environment here, so I will ask you to maintain that family-friendly and good environment. So we're basically cooked. No, that is the good news. The world will end eventually. That is not just a Christian woo-woo thing. That is a scientific fact that any scientist will tell you. At some point, the world will end, whether that be because Jesus comes back, whether that be because the sun explodes. The Earth as we know it, the universe as we know it, will eventually go away. But the good news isn't that we're, quote, cooked. The whole point of the gospel, the whole point of the good news is that there is life and death, and that you can obtain eternal life with God. So no, we're not cooked. That's the whole point of the good news, is that it will come to an end, but it doesn't have to be the end. Polyblank's here. Good morning. Good morning, Polyblank. Where is this quest? Is it in the wall? Oh, there's a guy in there. Okay.
Please, get rid of him so we can talk.
Okay, we gotta take out the Rippers. Give me the quest. Give me the quest to take out the Rippers. I will do it. Okay, I guess I have to take them out first. Alright, let's take them out. Shield time. I am definitely enjoying Amon a lot more than I was enjoying Vex. I like tankier Paladin playstyles, and he definitely plays in like that uber tank Paladin playstyle, so I'm very happy to have gotten to swap to Amon. I definitely do still think they made some poor decisions on how you swap characters, but you know, we're making it. We're making it slowly but surely.
Please, there was a Ripper attack and I locked myself in this storeroom. I'm not proud.
How did he lock himself in this storeroom? There was a hay bale and board put up against the wall. Like, how did he do that if he was locked inside? I don't feel like this guy is telling the truth. I feel like he is lying to me. You're very pleasant to listen to. Thank you, Mark. I have actually been told many times that I have both the face and voice for radio. So there's actually a solo play role-playing game called The Void FM, where you use a deck of cards and Spotify to host your own radio show, and I've wanted to do that for a while. I always thought it'd be fun to do an episode of that and try and make my own morning radio show for people to listen to, but I haven't actually like gotten around and sat down and done it as of yet. But someday I will, and you'll have to listen to my horrible taste in music, because you'll be waking up and listening to my morning radio show and get blasted in the face with My Little Pony and Insane Clown Posse. Okay, how do I open this door? Like, I feel like I'm being like a gaming journalist here. Like, the door seems like it should be easy to open, right? There was stuff in front of the door. I broke it. This has to be a glitch, right? Like, I'm not being a gaming journalist who can't figure out something obvious in front of him. Like, this is clearly what I need to break, and it's not breaking, right? That's not just me. Danny Dog or Susie Sheep. Choose one. I do not know either of those things. Maybe I need to find, like, is he asking me to find a board and put the lotion in the basket? Is that what's going on? Like, I have to find a stick to put against the door? Is that what it's asking me to do? If I look at my map, does it tell me? It doesn't show me to pick up anything. That's got to be the solution, right? There's got to be like a board for me to pick up somewhere. So we're looking for a stick. Something, maybe out here. I guess let's explore the area a little bit more. That's kind of grim, kind of gruesome. Person randomly hanging over there. We're looking for a stick. I don't understand why we need the stick. I'm literally got a rocket-powered fist. You're telling me that I need a stick to pry open the thing? I can't just punch it open, but okay. The pressure's on. I see there's a lot of you watching me, and this feels like, you remember that infamous game review where the guy was playing Cuphead and he hated Cuphead because he couldn't jump over the wall, and like everyone was saying like this is the most simple thing in the world. How that's why I feel like you're all watching me right now. Like the answer is so obvious, Waffles. If you took 5 seconds to think about it, you would understand it. I feel like that's what's going on right now. Is everyone's just sitting there watching like, how dumb is this guy? Like I figured this out an hour ago. So if one of you has the answer, you can spoil it for me. I don't mind the backseat gaming. Please tell me the answers so I stop looking foolish. If I'm not wrong, if I'm right, tell me that also. But I'm still looking for a stick, I guess. Something, anything? I heard something in there. Feels kind of cruel to open those crates just to kill those things, but I guess it's better than living in those crates. I don't know a whole lot about the My Little Pony community. I did go to school with 2 self-proclaimed bronies. No judgment on anyone else associated, but I wouldn't let those 2 around kids. Yeah, it's like anything that any fandom has its fair share of toxic people that are definitely terrible in many different ways. I don't disagree with that. So I definitely don't describe myself like as a brony. I'm not a part of the community in that way. I do, like I said, I do enjoy the show. I think the show is good. I think that there's some good music in the show. Like I enjoy it like that, but I definitely wouldn't go so far as to like call myself a brony or hanging out in the community or like going to BronyCon or anything like that. But I don't necessarily blame that on being a brony. I just think that every community's got its people that you want to like go to a Magic the Gathering convention, and I would tell you there are just as many people at a Magic the Gathering convention that I wouldn't let near kids as there are bronies that I wouldn't let near kids, right? Like there's just as many people bad in the Magic the Gathering. The My Hero Academia fandom, I could point out a whole room of people I wouldn't let near kids in that community. So I don't think it's a problem unique to the bronies. That is just humans. Remember the Pokemon IGN review where they said that Ruby and Sapphire had too much water? Yes, that was a pretty infamous IGN review as well. I'm lost here again. Hello, Doom Guy. Welcome back. And like we talked, there's a whole subreddit dedicated to people who take pictures of soiled chairs after Yu-Gi-Oh! And Magic the Gathering contests. So, like, again, that's not a brony problem. That is a humans as a whole definitely have some disgusting issues that are associated with them. I can smell it from here. I do appreciate one of my local game shops had the fortitude, and this is basically a death sentence for a local game shop, and it shouldn't be, but it is. They had the wherewithal to ban smelly players, and so they legitimately kicked people out of the store for smelling too bad, and the game shop lost a lot of revenue because they would not let the smelly people in the store. Like that is, and that's sad to say, right? It's sad to say that it is a death sentence for a store to not allow smelly people in. That is such a ridiculous statement. Is this game any good? I am torn on saying whether or not this game is good. I do think it is the best Borderlands we have ever gotten. But there are a lot of flaws with the game, and not just optimization. They've made a lot of terrible decisions with the game. The CEO is saying a lot of dumb and stupid, terrible things. So, like, I don't know that the game is worth full price yet. So if you're if you're on the fence about the game, I would say no, it's probably not worth it. There's just so many flaws with it right now. I can definitely try and give advice. You know, I'm not a doctor, not a lawyer, not any of those things, so I can't tell you what my advice, if it'll be any good, but I am definitely willing to offer perspective on scenarios. Just don't hold me, don't sue me is my disclaimer, please. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a lawyer. Don't ask for medical or health advice. I cannot give it. Okay. So we've explored this area pretty good, right? Like, can we say I gave this the old college try and that this quest must be bugged or something's wrong with it, right? Like, clearly something went wrong with this quest and I cannot open this door. So we can all agree this is not Waffle's fault. This is the game. The game has broken and it will not let me complete this quest. Yes, we can all agree on that. Can I be a moderator? Maybe. I just got 2 new mods, and there are days where we definitely need more moderators, so I always watch for if someone wants to be a mod, you know, definitely ask for it, and then I will watch to see if you're consistently here, if you consistently uphold the values of my channel, those sort of things, then I can definitely see about making you a mod, but I never make, like, first-time things mods. You know, it takes... It's a process. It takes time. I got to make sure that I'm vetting my mods all prim and proper like. I'm a big Pokemon, Star Wars, Kingdom Hearts fan. All 3 of those communities have their share of undesirable... Oh, man, the Pokemon community. The Pokemon community definitely has its bad apples as well. Or like the Smash Brothers community. Like, holy cow, the Super Smash Brothers community is some vile cringe. The worst, though... I will unequivocally, every time, I will say the absolute worst, and I will stand by this 100%, the absolute worst community has to be Dead by Daylight. The Dead by Daylight players are so toxic and hate-filled. I enjoy Dead by Daylight. I cannot play Dead by Daylight because there are so many rude, horrible people. I cannot stomach the game because of the player base. The game itself, great game, great idea, fun game. The community, horrible. Don't ever trust a guy named Dennis. I don't think I've ever met someone in real life, in the real space named Dennis, so I'll take your advice. In terms of Pokemon and human, worst thing that happened to Pokemon. I mean, I would love... Humans are definitely the worst thing to happen to Pokemon. I agree with that statement. I would love to get a more mature Pokemon game where we get to see like the Pokemon War. I would love to see the Pokemon War and get like a more mature take on it. I would love to see some stories about that. You know, the original Pokemon games had whips because Team Rocket used to whip their Pokemon, so I'd like to see some of those stories. I definitely think there are some more stories to explore in the Pokemon universe. But agreed, humans are the worst thing to happen to the Pokemon. Why is there a potato spinning behind you? So every now and then there is a... the Waffle Knight's arm will pop out, and the Waffle Knight will make a waffle, and that's what you see in the background, is the Waffle Knight making waffles.
Pick up the goods and I'll send the details.
I will convey your goods with a fury never before seen in food delivery.
I did see, Blank, you deleted your message, something about the rules for the killers. I definitely agree that I hate the community rules that, okay, well, if you're the killer, you have to do this, and you have to do this, and if you do this, then you're tunneling. If you're doing this, you're bad, and it's just let me play the game, right? Like, I shouldn't have to go to the subreddit to read the unwritten rules to make you happy so that you won't toxically bash me. Yeah, the rules for killers is definitely a terrible, terrible thing that the subreddit tries to enforce in the game. It's the same. Every game has that problem. Like League of Legends is pretty bad about that too, where the community has decided that there's a bunch of rules, and if you don't know those rules, then you're a terrible person and a terrible player. But they're not in the game. So like how could you possibly be expected to know those rules and follow them if it's not even in the game? Like, you as a community can't just make up a bunch of rules and then expect other people to follow them. Like, it's different for like Pokemon and Nuzlocke, right? That's exactly what the Nuzlocke community did. The Nuzlocke went in and said, here's some custom rules we want you to create to play the game and have fun with it. And if you agree to these rules and play the game that way, then you're doing a Nuzlocke challenge. That's fine because everyone's agreeing to that and seeking that out. But you don't see Pokemon players going into random Pokemon streamers and be like, that's against Nuzlocke rules, when they're not doing a Nuzlocke, right? Like, that doesn't happen. I'm a fan of Hazbin Hotel, but the fandom is awful. Yeah, Hazbin Hotel, I would definitely agree, has a terrible fandom. I personally don't like Hazbin Hotel. I watched the first 2 episodes and definitely thought that it was pretty awful and overrated. Like, the humor just wasn't for me. Like, naming a character Vaggie tells you everything you need to know about the show. But maybe I'm just an old man yelling at clouds, because like I also tried to watch what is that one show with the eyeballs and the clown, Amazing Digital Circus. I tried to watch Amazing Digital Circus and I couldn't stomach one episode of that. So maybe it's, again, maybe I'm just old and it's not made for me, because I definitely did not understand the appeal of the Amazing Digital Circus at all. So maybe I just don't understand those shows. Ooh, this guy's spicy. Some rules make things fun. No healing in Soulsborne duels comes to mind, but if someone heals mid-fight, I don't get mad. I just start healing too. And it's one of those things, like, if you agree to the rules, that's definitely different, but you've got to have a chance to agree to the rules. Holding people to rules online that you have to go and seek out doesn't make much sense, especially since the vast majority of people don't go to online gaming forums, right? When you look at an online gaming forum like Reddit, you go to the World of Warcraft gaming forums, whatever it may be, you have to understand, like, the vast majority of people don't spend their free time going online to argue about video games. Like, the devs for Helldivers came out and were talking about that. Someone was complaining, like, why don't the devs ever listen to us? And they were explaining, like, we do listen to player feedback, but you have to understand the vast majority of player feedback coming through, like, Reddit and such, that is the vocal minority of people, and the overwhelming majority of people don't come onto online forums and complain and do all that. They literally just log in, play the game for an hour, enjoy it, and then go home, right? So, like, the vast majority of people aren't spending their free time complaining about games online, right? That is a very niche and vocal people, and you don't always want to listen to that vocal niche community, because listening to the hardcore gamers isn't always the right choice to make for your game. Sometimes it's okay to let the casuals have fun and do the casual things. Like, for example, why you don't listen to gamers. I was complaining in this game right here. There is, I'll show you in just a second. Let's destroy this really quick. I'll show you an exact example of why you don't listen to gamers. Let me get out of combat really fast. Okay, is everyone dead? Can I pull up my map? Oh wait, we got one more guy. And then I'll show you. And I'll show you why you don't listen to gamers. There's too much swearing in Hazbin Hotel, and the Devil May Cry anime has the problem with the ladies swearing every microsecond. Okay, let me show you something. Explain. This is why you don't listen to gamers. So you can't really see it on my map, but there is a mission in the game where the mission marker shows that you need to go here to, you need to go here to siege a castle. And if you leave that area, the mission marker will tell you to go back here to complete the mission. The problem is there's no way to go into this area. In order to access this area, you have to go over here and use a portal. But there's no mission map marker that tells you to use this portal to get over here. So I said that is poor game design, because what if you take a break and forget that the only way to access over here is to go over here, and there's no way to abandon the quest, there's no way to restart the quest, you will be stuck on that quest forever unless you can Google it, but because the game just came out, not a lot of people have that answer, right? So it is legitimately possible to be stuck because you need to go up here, but in order to go up here, you need to go over here, but the mission doesn't tell you that. Nowhere in the game does it tell you that. You have to know that, and you either have to Google it, and again, the game just came out, so not a lot of people have Google answers yet, or you have to figure it out. That's poor game design. So I went online and I said, hey, that's terrible game design. The map marker should tell you exactly where to go for convenience. And someone's like, oh, why don't you just pay attention to the mission? I said, well, what about people who have kids or who have a life, who go outside and touch grass, who play the mission, leave for whatever reason, and they come back a week later? They're not going to remember that. And their answer was just like, well, that's their fault. They should have played the game more. And that is why you don't listen to the gamers online, because the people in the subreddit are saying, well, you know, that's their fault for having children. If they were true Borderlands fans, if they were really dedicated to the game, then they would spend more time playing it than playing with their kids. Like, that is an absolute garbage take, and that is why game developers don't listen to the idiots who are posting on Reddit, because that's the person who's telling you how to game design, is saying we shouldn't listen to people who have children and we shouldn't care about people who have lives. We should only care about the people who take a week off from the work to play the game non-stop for hours and hours on end. That's a stupid take. That is a terminally online take that should not be considered serious for even a moment, and yet it exists. Yokai Watch 3 has the same problem with the markers. I'm 50-50 on the game design being bad. Morrowind has no map markers, but it does have a robust journal that your character gives clues in. And that would be great too, but the game doesn't have that. The game has no way in the game of telling you where to go outside of the initial mission that took place hours ago. There's no possible way for you to know where to go unless you're actively doing the mission originally or you Google it. That's what I'm saying is the terrible game design. I don't have to have a map marker that tells me where to go automatically, but the game needs some way to tell you where to go. And we all agree this is terrible game design, right? If any of you are as old as me and you played old NES games, you can remember how terrible the game design was, where they're like, well, the game is intentionally obscure because you're supposed to buy Nintendo Power, and if you buy the $20 Nintendo magazine, it will tell you exactly what to do. That's stupid game design. I shouldn't have to buy a magazine to tell me where to go, right? Like, I should be able to figure it out with the information in the game. So it doesn't need to be a map marker. It could be a journal. It could be the quest giver. It could be those things. I'll use Final Fantasy VIII as an example as well. I love Final Fantasy VIII. So if I could be critical of it for a moment, Final Fantasy VIII and a lot of old RPGs had no journal system. So if you took a break from the game, there was no way to know where you were at in the game in the main story quest. So you either had to start over, or you had to spend hours upon hours walking around talking to every NPC to try and piece together where the heck you're at and figure out what you're supposed to do next. That's stupid game design. The game should tell you where you're at and what you're doing, right? What game is this? This is Borderlands 4. Have you ever played Zork? Zork was a little bit before my time. I'm not that old. 2010 mall teens here. I miss malls. I definitely miss the mall. I definitely wish we still had malls to walk around in. Pokemon Emerald is peak. I will agree with that. I love Pokemon Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald were probably my favorite Pokemon games. I don't like the art style of Borderlands. I could definitely see that. The art style for Borderlands is unique. You know, it's a stylistic choice. Either you love it or you hate it. All right. Once again, we are having a gamer moment here. I see these things here. Clearly, we need to hit them to open this chest. Like, that's obvious, but shooting them doesn't work. Killing these dudes doesn't work. So what am I supposed to do here to open this thing up? Any ideas? They're not attacking me, and they're respawning, so it has to do something with these guys, right? These These guys spawning has to do something with this opening, but what? What could it be? Do I need to pull them over here? Is that... Okay, that's just destroying them. There's a new game plus. Yes, there is a new game plus. That is what I have done here. This character is the new game plus that I attempted. I like the fact your character has a good sprint speed. Previous Borderlands felt like running through pudding. Definitely agree with that. Okay, these lights are changing colors. When I took them out with the ropes. So that's clearly the correct answer. So I need to rip the blue ones open. I discovered the final boss of Persona 2 is funny, but in every other Persona guide, it's always a god date. Yeah, that is a trope I despise of JRPGs and RPGs in general, is that the end boss seems to always be, you're ultra powerful, go kill God. Like, I'm so sick of the answer to every RPG being go kill God. I'm 31, played Zork. That game you have to write everything down. I kind of miss, yeah. I do remember the old school mud dungeons and such where it was you didn't have graphics, it was just text, right? You had to text the game and figure it out from that. Okay, so it seems like we have to wound these guys, and when I wound them, I can do that. Okay, I think we figured out the puzzle. We can't kill them. We have to wound them to be able to pull them and do that. So, one more. Hey, we figured it out. Look at that. And we got garbage for it. Wow, thanks. I spent 20 minutes of my life figuring out that puzzle for greens. Also, to tell you how poorly programmed this game is, someone has done the math on it already. There is a thing called the loot box or something like that, where if you don't pick up loot, it will fill up the loot box so you can go recover it later. That is a great feature. They programmed it backwards, where, like, say you have a common item and a legendary item. How it's supposed to work is it will replace the common item with the legendary item. The higher the value of the item, it will pull out the weaker item, so you only get the most high-level loot in the loot vacuum. Great game design. That's how it's supposed to work. How they actually programmed it is backwards, that the low common items replace the legendary items. So if you don't pick up a legendary item, a random common potion will push it out of the loot vacuum for it. So that should tell you how janky the programming is in this game, that they programmed something that simple backwards, and they've yet to fix it yet. That's a problem. I'm 31. Oh, I already read that one. I do miss some of the old school, old style games, definitely sometimes. I understand, like, that's the whole... I understand that's where, like, the idea for Dark Souls came from, right? Like, the idea from Dark Souls came from missing hardcore old school games. But I don't miss the, where do I go? I don't know what to do. It's $100 for the normal edition of this game if you're paying in Australian dollars. Yeah, Australian dollars definitely get the short end of the stick on this game. I would not say that it's worth 100 Australian dollars. I would definitely wait for a sale. And I definitely respect... welcome back, Jonathan. I respect all the people who are saying that they are not playing the game, not because they don't want to play the game, but because the CEO is making such out-of-touch and horrible comments that they can't support the CEO. Like, what's his name? Randy Pitchford out here saying if you can't play the game, it's because your computer's terrible and maybe you should upgrade your PC, or saying just get a refund because we're not changing it, or all those terrible... Like, I understand why people are like, hey, I don't support it because that guy's being an absolute jerk. I get that. I understand that 100%.
Just one delivery left.
How are you so chill when you play, or am I just mental? You know, it's a skill. It's a skill you learn to manage chat and play at the same time. You went down, didn't even cuss or lose your trail of thought. It's something you learn to do slowly but surely. I do take pride. I will say I will. You're playing as Rafa. Rafa is the next character I'm going to make. I definitely want to try Rafa next. I do take pride in I am not a rage gamer. I have proudly never thrown my controller against a wall and broken a controller by throwing it against the wall. I've never screamed someone out through voice chat or resorted to calling them the N-word. I am a chill gamer. I am very proud of the fact that I am not out here breaking my controllers left and right because of the video games. I can't wait to try Rafa a sub because I need to learn from you. I'm definitely a rage gamer. Have you played For Honor before? Yes. I've talked about For Honor. I do not play For Honor now specifically because of one thing, and I understand if you disagree with me. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying you're stupid. I'm not saying that you're a bad Christian. I want to be upfront about that. I played For Honor, and the toxic community was frustrating, but they specifically made an emote in For Honor where you can force someone else to make their character take their own life. And I am very against that. I don't like that. I don't like seeing that, and it offends me. That's just what it goes down to. So I'm not asking them to remove it from the game. I'm not saying you're wrong if you play the game. I'm saying I personally don't like them putting that in the game, so I choose not to play it anymore because of that feature. So I did play For Honor. I enjoyed it a little bit. When we were talking about toxic communities, For Honor definitely also has a definite toxic community as well. But it was a fun game. I loved the concept.
Ask your makers for improvements.
By the time I beat the Buckhorn Spirit Dragon last night, my neighbors probably thought I was attacking someone. By not being a rage gamer, you're better than 60% of gamers. I'll tell you what, it would be easier. I am considering getting the Corsair released like that little screen you can get that you can attach to your computer. I am considering buying a second screen to be able to read chat because I'm playing on, this is going to be my humble brag, I'm playing on a 49-inch OLED ultra-wide monitor, and in order to see chat, I actually have to, like, that's why you see I turn my head all the time. I have to physically turn my head to see chat because my monitor is so large. So I need to get like a second monitor, like at eye level here or something, so that I can see chat without having to physically turn my head away from the screen. And like I never thought, if you're thinking about getting a 49-inch ultra-wide monitor, they are super cool. Not gonna lie, they're super immersive, they're super fun. But there are so many downsides people do not tell you about getting 49-inch monitors. Downside number one, I physically have to turn my neck to see chat. Downside number two, a lot of games don't support it, so it doesn't look right on them anyway, so you can't even use the monitor in the way that it was intended to be used. Downside number three that you would never think of, UI in games. So a lot of games, they put the user interface on the edges of the screen. That makes sense. But that means when you're playing like Call of Duty, if I want to see my health, I have to physically look over and down to see my health, to see my ammo, which means I have to take my eyes off of the action to be able to do that. That's a problem. That's a real problem. So no one tells you about those problems when you first get the game, when you first get the monitor. But yeah, you will be hurting your neck playing those games, and if they don't have a way for you to move the UI, you are physically disadvantaging yourself to be able to use the monitor. Bro's flexing his PC, meanwhile my friend's stuck on a PS4. Call of Duty is not good. I agree. I'm just using that as an example that you have to do these things where you have to move to look at the UI. Like I play World of Warcraft a lot too, and it's the same problem with World of Warcraft where you have to look around to see, like, in order to play the raid, I have to look at my people that I'm healing, but then I can't see what's in front of me. So yeah, there are downs. That's all I'm saying. I'm saying that even if you can afford the ultra wide monitor, it might not be worth it. I don't think I'll buy another ultra-wide monitor. I think I will go back to 2 4K monitors. I definitely, I definitely see the pros of not having to turn my head away from the microphone to talk to you all. I believe games such as Halo 3 or Battlefront 2 did health bars good. VR is going to make the problem. I have a VR headset. I love playing in VR. I actually don't get very much motion sickness in VR. I would love to play in VR with you all. In fact, you can play Borderlands 4 in VR with some mods, and it's cool. But the problem is, it's really hard to have chat up at the same time that you're playing VR because exactly that problem. You can do it. You can put a VR window of like chat over here, but then your game's here, so you have to physically like look around, and it doesn't work well. So I don't do VR gaming because I want to chat with you all. I enjoy chatting with you all. I have fun chatting with you all. So if I put on my VR headset, it's much harder to chat with y'all. So that's why I don't have the VR headset. I'm willing to sacrifice myself and humbly take your monitor and get you a smaller one. Five Nights at Freddy's 4 gonna go wild in VR. I love VR, and I truly think it is the future of gaming, but we need a lot more people to adopt it before we're ever going to see any real progress in that front. And then we have Nintendo taking 2 steps backwards, introducing the Virtual Boy VR. For $100, you can buy a hunk of plastic to be able to play the Virtual Boy in VR. And why would I pay $100 to play a horrible old system that everyone hated, you know? Are you ready for the DLC Vault Hunters? Yes, I am excited for the DLC. Excited for some new Vault Hunters and new content. But I understand that's still, it's still a little ways away, right? Like, I understand that most people haven't even beaten the game yet. So talking about the DLC, it's still a little ways away. We're still a little way away from having the DLC. These quests are also very, very awful. I do not know who decided that this was a good idea, but designing a quest where you have to carry an item and you're not allowed to use any of your movement stuff. It's hard to reload guns. You can't zoom in. Like, that is such an annoying game design choice that they made to make it so that you have to carry these darn things around. You can't zip line around. It's so frustrating. Why, oh, why did they decide to make frustrating gameplay elements? Okay, I have to remember how to even get into this base. Have you ever played Hold Fast Nations at War? I have not heard of that one. Let's shoot that guy with my taser, my super powerful taser that melts people. Yeah, they made a lot of decisions that just generally suck for the game. There's definitely a lot of filler. My biggest complaint, I'm trying the new Vault Hunter Plus mode. Why? Look at this. I played the game. I beat the game. So why, when I make a new character, do I have to rediscover the entire map? That is such a terrible, terrible idea. Why did they do that? Thank you for use the elevator. I forgot I could use the elevator here. Why do I have to redo all that? And then like to unlock a new Vault Hunter Plus mode, you have to redo a mission you've already done and listen to the characters do speeches you've already listened to. And you're redoing a mission. Why? Why are they making you redo a mission you've already listened to and have to sit through the entire thing? Like, that's such a frustrating gameplay design. Not to mention, they gave it the most frustrating moderator of all time, or most frustrating mod, where every enemy grapples you in and explodes. So they just made it such a slog. It's not hard. It's just boring slog. And I feel like so many games mistake difficulty and tedium, right? Like, I don't mind a game that is difficult to play. I don't mind hard gameplay. But I do hate tedious gameplay. And I feel like they don't understand the difference between tedium and difficulty. That definitely feels abundantly clear with them. Holdfast is kind of like a milsim game set in the Napoleonic era. You only have muskets 75 versus 75. That sounds pretty awesome. I'd dig that. I have an SMG that has a shotgun spread rounds and it refills ammo every time I shoot it. I do love some of the crazy gun combinations. Having a shotgun that shoots sniper rifle ammo is super cool. I do love that. Bubble's here. Good morning, Bubble. All right, we got to find the data pad. If I remember right, it's right up here. Grab that data pad. We'll hack this. Now, where did the thing go? Where did the thing go that I was just... Did it disappear? Oh, there it is. I was going to be so mad. I was going to be so mad if that disappeared. Favorite Vault Hunter so far. I've only played Vex and Amon. So far, I like Amon the best. I really enjoy Amon's play style. It is nice when you can skip the dialogue, but there are definitely places of dialogue you cannot skip, and that is frustrating. All right, let's sell some garbage we don't need. I already looked at all this, so we can sell all this, make some money. Okay, let's look at what we got here. We've got meh. Nothing good. Nothing good. All right. Nothing great there. So, we'll make some money. What you need is a cup of coffee. So, the next thing I want to try, I have heard that the new craze. The new craze is deep fat fried coffee. People are saying that deep fried coffee is absolutely delicious. That is the next thing that I want to try doing is deep frying my coffee. That sounds absolutely delicious. No, here we go. No, it's not. We're gonna try it. How do you deep fry coffee? So what you do is you buy whole coffee beans, and then you fry the coffee beans physically in oil, and then once they're fried, you grind them, and then you brew a cup of coffee after you've ground up the beans. And allegedly, it makes the coffee really smooth. And here's the thing. So I've tried hot sauce coffee. I've tried the whole butter in coffee trend. So I've tried a lot of different coffee. So I don't think it will be that bad. I definitely think it'll be better than putting a stick of butter in your coffee, because the whole butter coffee trend, that was my least favorite coffee trend. And I know y'all are judging me, but try it. Just try it. Stick some Valentino coffee, or stick some Valentino hot sauce in your coffee. It's pretty darn good. My stomach hurts. Cholula hot sauce also goes good in coffee. And Tabasco also goes good in coffee. So all three of those are pretty darn good stuff to eat. Try those. Is tried bullet coffee? Yes, it is. It is called bullet coffee. It does make you have to poo. But here's the thing. I create every morning what I call my potion of poop your pants, because as an old person, yes, I have beat Borderlands 4. I believe in gut health. So every morning I make a double espresso coffee, and I put some Mucilex in it to get my daily fiber, 2 scoops of daily fiber in there. So you put 2 shots of espresso with a bunch of fiber in it, and it will get your morning started correctly. That is your adult hack for the day. I am not a doctor. Don't take my medical advice, but if you want to poo, Mucilex and espresso combined makes a potent potion. I just prefer the bullet. Zero, hello, good morning.
I respect your lack of patience, but I will
But I highly recommend you try it at least once in your life. You will not be disappointed by putting some of your Mucinex in your coffee. It's a great way to get your daily fiber in. It's a great way to take care of your health and make it taste good. But I can understand why you all would judge that harshly and think that sounds absolutely disgusting. The key is you gotta get the unflavored Mucilax or Mucinex. If you have a flavor in it, it's gonna make it horrible. So you gotta get the unflavored stuff. Get the morning started with an hour on the toilet. If you're drinking enough fiber and coffee combined, you will not spend an hour on the toilet. I can guarantee it will not be an hour. On days where I really want to be fiber healthy, I'll take that coffee potion and I'll combine it with my Taco Bell in the morning. And that is next level. That is professional mode. That is for professional pooping only. If you're gonna combine that potion with Taco Bell, it'll feel like an hour's struggle. How do you take your coffee? Here's the thing. Oh boy, here you go. You've done it now, blank. Unpopular glasses time. We're putting on the unpopular opinion glasses. I take my coffee black. Here's the thing. If you like coffee, you should like the taste of the bitter black coffee. If you don't like the taste of bitter black coffee, then you don't like the taste of coffee. You like the fancy Starbucks milkshakes, essentially. It's only coffee if it's black. The only reason I'm not drinking black coffee today, I do have a little bit of creamer in this coffee that I have right now, is because I made a mistake and got a new brand of coffee I've never tried before, and it is the worst tasting coffee I've ever tasted in my life. Like, it is undrinkable. This is Borderlands 4, but I do not believe in food waste, so I'm not going to let it go to waste. So rather than wasting the food, I will throw a little bit of cream in it to make it palatable, because it's called Taster's Choice from Costco, Taster's Choice Instant Coffee, and it is horrible. It is the worst tasting coffee I have ever tasted in my life. Like, I would prefer to drink Denny's coffee over this. But yeah, if you need to put a shot of flavoring, a shot of oat milk in your coffee, then you don't like coffee, you like milkshakes. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I'm just saying that if you have to drown out the taste of the coffee, then you don't like the taste of coffee. Which is okay. Coffee is definitely very bitter, so I understand why someone might not like the taste of coffee. I don't like Starbucks coffee. I feel like Starbucks coffee, I feel like they intentionally burn it to give it a unique flavor. And, I try, to the best of my ability, I try and boycott Starbucks because I disagree with a lot of the decisions they've made as a company. So I try not to even get Starbucks. But I will say, out of all their drinks, Starbucks does have the Nitro Cold Brew. And the Starbucks Nitro Cold Brew, by far, is the best Nitro Cold Brew you can buy from a coffee shop. Without a doubt, the Starbucks Nitro Cold Brew is the best Nitro Cold Brew in existence. Where did my mission objective go? Here we go. All right. Let's keep walking. True American pros deep fry it. Exactly. Oh boy, we got a boss fight. Let's go take out this boss really quick. This delivery mission is definitely taking some detours. Poison Ivan. Okay. This guy's not too tough. I should be able to take this guy. I need some ammo though. I'm low on ammo. So we could definitely use some ammo. Ammo, please. Ammo. Let's grab my taser. Let's teach this guy a lesson with tasing. Fun with tasers. Their chai is good too. I have never had a chai because most chais from most places seem to be 90% sugar. And as we all know from watching Waffles, we don't appreciate a good sugar here. This is awful. I lose this boss fight because everything's invulnerable. I don't like all the sugar. Because again, it goes back to like, if you like tea, I like tea. But I like to taste the tea, right? I want to taste the hot leaf juice. If I want to taste sugar, I could just eat sugar. So I don't understand why you would take your tea and absolutely just drown it in sugar. You know, I want to enjoy the taste of the tea. Now you jinxed out, it's time for revenge. I can't get revenge. So this is another poor design choice that I don't like. So those boss fights, you have to stay in the bubble. So if the boss knocks you out of the bubble, it instantly despawns. And if you lose the fight, it just goes away. You don't get a second chance. So it's just gone forever now. And I think that's terrible game design that, one, in a game with so many like knockbacks, there are so many knockbacks in the game. Why would they program it in such a way that if you get knocked back out of the bubble, it instantly despawns? That's stupid. And like that, I lost because everything was invulnerable. That sucks. And now I don't get a second chance. It's really, really baffling, stupid decisions that the game designers have made here. You can add sugar, but I make my own chai spice and it doesn't have any besides a little bit of brown sugar. I would just prefer to drink straight up tea. Like, I got this one tea at a tea house that was called gunpowder, and it tasted like you were drinking black powder. Like, it had, like, if you've ever smelled a gunpowder rifle go off, it tasted like that. That was unique and flavorful. And yeah, I could drown that with sugar, but then I'm losing that unique taste, right? Like, I want to experience that unique flavor. That's why I'm going to a tea house, is to experience that unique flavor. Why would I drown it out with sugar? But a simple cup of pure black coffee is great. And I cannot wait. My favorite Star Trek character, Captain Picard. Captain Picard says his favorite breakfast is a black cup of coffee and a croissant. So I went and got some frozen croissants from Trader Joe's. And I am going to have a Star Trek The Next Generation breakfast here soon by just having a nice, simple black coffee and simple croissant. And I am so excited to try my Star Trek The Next Generation breakfast. And here's why that is so important to me. Because I understand it's just coffee and croissant. The reason why I'm so excited for it is because there was a time in my life where I was so overweight, where I was so fat that I couldn't imagine myself eating a breakfast that small. That wasn't enough food to satisfy. I have now lost enough weight that I feel like having a croissant and black coffee will be a satisfying breakfast. So I'm very, very excited to try it. What is your favorite tea? Oh boy, there's a lot of teas I absolutely love. I'm a big fan of citrus, so any orange citrusy tea I absolutely love. But my absolute favorite tea right now is this local tea house to us. They make a gingerbread flavored tea, and if you make that gingerbread flavored tea and you put just an ounce of like peppermint or vanilla in it, it tastes like eating gingerbread cookies dipped in milk. And that is incredible. All right, I did the mission. I brought the thing all the way here. Well, I just shot myself. Here's more bad game design. Wasn't letting me pick the thing up. What do I do with this thing now? I brought it here, so do I have to take it to Zed? Is that who wants? What do I do with the... I brought the bullet here, and now what do I do with the bullet? Does it go down below? It's a very nice tea. It is absolutely delicious. 100%. If you get a chance to try it, gingerbread tea is awesome. I also tried, for some giggles, this is going to be probably the grossest tea I've ever tried, but it's spicy and zesty, and so I just need to find the right thing to pair it to. But I got a Santa Fe tea from the same tea house who makes their own custom teas, and it is chili peppers and lime flavored tea. And that was an experience. I've never had tea that physically hurt to drink. Like, you could feel the chili pepper in your throat burning it. So I made it with lime, and that was an intense experience. I'd like to try it again while having like a chicken tacos. I feel like having like a lemon lime spicy chicken taco with salsa, that tea would go good with it. But it definitely feels like that tea is fighting you back. Like, when you're drinking it, you feel like you might lose the fight with the tea because it might burn your throat off. It was very hot. Not like, oh man, the degrees is so hot. Like, this is very spicy. But why is it spicy? It was a very spicy tea. There's this bar that made its tea based on punch bowls. I miss that place so much. Alright, we found a random patrol of dudes here. Hit him. Hit him with that stanky leg. Fun Waffles fact for you here. That was my favorite song for the longest time. Was Stanky Leg. I stand by, it was a banger. Here are some unpopular songs that I will wholeheartedly admit are great songs. That people pretend aren't great songs that they don't like, that are good songs. Stanky Leg is a good song. I Whip My Hair Back and Forth by Willow Smith is a good song. The Nickelback catalog. Good songs. Again, I know people hate on those, but Crank That Soulja Boy. Good song. What are we doing down here? The mission went away. Did I complete the mission? Apparently I completed that mission. So I have one more mission to complete. Where to go? I guess we'll take out the propaganda speaker while we're down here. Never say Stanky Leg again. It's a good song. Speaking of good songs, I got a Facebook ad for a band called The Thirsting that does an absolutely incredible pop punk rendition of Salve Regina. Absolutely amazing. And I found out they're a local band to me. They're based out of Portland. So I really want to see them in person and meet up with them. So I messaged them, and I'm really hoping... I don't expect they'll actually message me back, but I really, really hope they message me back. I want to meet them. I want to talk to them. If you haven't heard of them, The Thirsting does an absolutely incredible rendition. Go listen to it. Go enjoy it. I just saw a headline that said LimeWire just bought the Fire Festival. Why are those companies still in business? Do you like rock music? I am a fan of all music. I will try any genre once, but I will forewarn you that my taste in music is considered by many to be the worst taste in music of all time. So, if you're going to recommend a band or if we're going to talk about music, just be prepared for some terrible, terrible opinions on the horizon. For example, I stand by that the Beatles is the most overrated band of all time. I understand they did great things for music. Overrated. There's no reason to listen to the Beatles in 2025. Their music simply is not worth listening to in this year. What's your opinion on Sabaton and ABBA? I don't know ABBA, I don't think. Sabaton, I don't know, like... I like a few of their songs, but I feel like every Sabaton song I listen to is the exact same. Like, I feel like they just use the same guitar riffs and same, like, beat over and over and over again. Like, it feels like the same thing over and over again. How do you not know ABBA? Do they do Whip It? Is ABBA the one who did Whip It? Or did they do Barbie Girl? Music's gotten worse. Now rate J-pop and anime music. Anime music. No contest. The theme song to Neon Genesis Evangelion, Cruel Angel Thesis, is the greatest anime song of all time. I will fight anyone on that. Barbie Girl is Aqua. Aqua, ABBA, basically the same thing. Dancing Queen, I don't know that song, I don't think. I don't think I know that one. I'm taking a cigarette break. This is going too far. I warned you. I said if we're going to talk about music, my opinions are, quote, vile when it comes to music. They did Mamma Mia? I did like the movie Mamma Mia. Cruel Angel Thesis barely makes the top 3? No way. That is such a good song. You're breaking my Swedish heart. Fight me. The only other anime song I can think of that is better than... that could be better than Cruel Angel's Thesis is You Say Run, My Hero Academia. That song gets me so hyped. You should listen to Marquise of Vaudeville. They have an amazing song called The Marionettes. Emmy, come get your man. She's asleep. She has no power here right now. She cannot save you. Next person to mention music is getting banned. This needs to stop. Speaking of toxic fandoms like we were talking about earlier, J-pop. J-pop or K-pop, both of those have some horribly toxic communities. Like the K-pop community, who invented the whole like Stan thing that Eminem talks about in his song Stan, which is one of Eminem's only tolerable songs. That is a toxic community. That is some next level toxicity when you start talking about K-pop. I'd say top 1 is The World and 2 is Bluebird. I don't know either of those songs. What animes are those from? Do you know the band Gorillaz? Yes, I know Gorillaz. I would put Gorillaz in like a one-hit wonder category because they had that one good song, Feelin' Happy, Inc., or is that Clint Eastwood? Like that's basically, they had one good song. But I'm aware of them. Death Note and Naruto Shippuden. Okay, Death Note is definitely one of the best anime of all time. I will give you that. Death Note's incredible. Naruto, I don't know how I feel about Naruto. You're not about to talk down about the Gorillaz? It's like I said, one hit wonder. Like, they're okay. They're okay. Nothing to write home about. All right, let's do this mission really quick. We have to swim, bike, and run in a triathlon. Okay, we're swimming. Man, really said the Gorillaz has one good song? Yes, I warned you all ahead of time, did I not? Did I not start this conversation by saying I had the worst music taste of all time? We started this. Gorillaz explores a different sound, and that's what makes them fun. Good morning, Miles. Shippuden is interchangeable with DBZ. Okay. Next unpopular opinion time. I'm already wearing the glasses. Anime edition. The worst animes of all time are One Piece, Dragon Ball Z, and Naruto. Absolutely filthy, terrible anime. I need your opinion on the best game soundtracks. My top picks are Nier Automata, Expedition 33, and Doom. For game soundtracks, I would say the absolute best game soundtrack of all time has to go to Stardew Valley. Stardew Valley has an amazing soundtrack. Final Fantasy VIII is my favorite video game soundtrack of all time, but Original Doom definitely does have an incredible soundtrack. I will concede, even though I hate The Legend of Zelda and think The Legend of Zelda is an absolutely terrible game series, they do have some wonderful music. Finally, a fellow One Piece hater. Look, if you need 2,000 episodes to tell a story, your story's not worth telling. That's just a simple fact. The Bible told the greatest story ever told in less amount of time than One Piece. I actually brought music up to him, and this is my worst decision of my life. We know that I have some garbage music opinions. This is known. And yes, I do listen to ICP. I will stand by. Insane Clown Posse is better than Eminem any day of the week. I think that Insane Clown Posse is hugely overlooked as the greatest rappers of all time. No cap, for real, for real. Skirt, skirt. Bring on the clowns. Yes, I am playing on PC. Though I will admit, rap is one of the genres that I do not have a lot of experience in, because I don't typically enjoy rap as a genre. You did not just say that. I did just say that. And I know that Eminem and Insane Clown Posse had some beef back in the day, but I stand with it. I think Insane Clown Posse is better than Eminem. How did I alert the authorities to your opinions? Sometimes we have to face the truths that are hard for us to face. Insane Clown Posse reminds me of a different song. Did you know Insane Clown Posse made a movie that you can watch on Netflix called Big Money Hustlers? And if you ever need a good, long laugh, you should watch Big Money Hustlers on Netflix. It is hilariously bad in so many ways. Clowns to the left of me, jokers to the right. Okay, I can name that song. I can do this. I know, I recognize that. That is a Billy Joel song. I want to say Along the Watchtowers? Final answer. Billy Joel, Along the Watchtowers. Yes or no? Stuck in the middle with you? So I'm not close. This is why we shouldn't let this malarkey bother us. Okay, speaking of malarkey, malarkey was one of my favorite board games back in the day. It's a really fun board game where you have to, everyone draws a card and you have to lie about what you're reading, and it's a really fun board game. What's the best Eminem song in your opinion? Ooh, I don't like Eminem, but of his best songs, I would say either Mockingbird or Stan would be his best songs. I'll give Mockingbird credit. Mockingbird's a pretty good song. Sydney Pointy Legs is going to be my opponent here. Oh, hello, Sydney Pointy Legs. You definitely have pointy legs. That is absolutely accurate. That is a good descriptor. Let's tase him a bit. Just a little bit of a tase. Don't tase me, bro. Classic viral video. Sorry, I see people chatting, but I gotta concentrate just a little bit on this game. This boss fight's a little tough. There's a lot going on this one. Give me 1 second. All right, taser back up. Taser's back up. I do love the chaos of Borderlands, though. I do absolutely love all the absolute chaotic fun of battles like that. I agree with you, Mockingbird. Honestly, it might have redeemed your terrible opinions. Garbage, 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 garbage. We are not getting very good loot today. We're having some bad luck on the loot. I subscribed because of this banter. That's how it gets you. It's people. It's like a train wreck, right? You see the terrible opinions and you can't look away. You just got like, what is this guy talking about and why? Why is he talking about these things? Why does he have such terrible musical taste? These are questions the world may never know. You sent me a metal song that I enjoyed. I don't remember. However, unfortunately, it is time for me to go do chores. I gotta get out of my chair. My back is hurting, so it's time for me to go start work today. A reminder that on Friday, again, I have yet another dental appointment. So we are going to be doing a short stream on Friday before going and being tortured for an hour at the dentist again. But it is time for me to go to my real day job. Unfortunately, sharing my terrible musical opinions does not pay the bills. So I'm going to go do my real job now and do some chores. But first, as always, let's end with a prayer. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen. Lord, thank you for this blessed day, and thank you for all that you do for us. Today, we continue to pray for the victims of violence, whether that be political violence, whether that be war, whether that be school shootings, whatever the violence is, Lord, be with the victims and all those who have been impacted. We continue to pray for vocations, the people who are discerning either the priesthood, discerning marriage, discerning monastic life, whatever it be. Lord, help them. We pray for those who don't have enough, those who are starving, those who don't have enough food, water, shelter, whatever it may be. Lord, help us see that need in our community and provide for those in need. And finally, we pray for those souls in purgatory, those souls who have been forgotten, those souls who have no one left to pray for them. Lord, help them. All this we pray in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. All right, everyone, that is it for me. I've got to go. I got to go and do my chores, got to go do all the other stuff. We will have a short stream on Friday, so be tuned in for that. I will have a new video out tomorrow. If you don't get enough of waffles, I will have a new video up tomorrow morning for your pleasure as well. Thank you, as always, everyone, for joining me. I will be live again 5 a.m. Pacific time on Friday. Go and have a blessed day, everyone.